Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Big Daddy Plisket here, bringing you part 4 of my Flame of Recca anime retrospective. Today, we will be looking at episodes 14 through 17, a mini transitional arc from the previous mentioned saga into the Death Tournament arc that will take up the final 2/3 of the series. We will learn the history of the Hokage clan, as well as how Recca was brought into the present, along with some twists and turns. So, without any further ado, here is the exposition and flashback heavy episode of Flame of Recca, Retrospective, Part 4. Yeah! At the start of episode 14, we find our heroes lost in the forest on the way to Kagehoshi's home. In true ninja fashion, her house is built into the side of a cliff, only being accessible through a hidden entrance. As Recca and the gang make their way into the secret passage, we see that they are being followed by one of Kurei's goons. In the rundown Hokage mansion Kagehoshi calls home, she comes clean about everything. She reveals that her name is Kagero and that she is Recca's mother. 400 years in the past, Kagero and the leader of the Hokage clan, Oka, were married, and Recca was their child. However, it turns out Oka had previous baby mama drama with a woman named Reina, who is the feudal Japan equivalent of a modern-day Karen. She is the mother of Oka's first child and future leader of the Hokage clan, Kurei. You heard me right. Recca and Kurei are half-brothers. Reina isn't thrilled with Oka having another son, a point she makes known by giving Kagero and the babe a bag of skulls as a gift. This is kind of a bit of a flex on her part. You see, every generation, one child is born with the power of flames. And with Kurei already demonstrating that he had that power long ago, he has already been decided to be the next leader of the clan. However, a week after Recca's birth, his flame manifests. This is an ill omen, seeing as there are now 2 fire wielders with possible claims for leadership of the clan. Reina pushes for Recca to be killed, but the elder of the clan decides it should be Kurei instead. He says the boy has a dark heart and would only bring ruin to the clan. And based off the blank, cold expression on the child's face, I kinda have to agree, as Reina pleads for her son's life, and Oka turns away like a coward. Kagero stands up for Kurei. Oka finally grows a pair and begs for the life of his firstborn son. Reina and Kurei are instead banished to the outskirts of the village, where the mother is a victim of Real Housewives type gossip, and Kurei is the victim of beatings. One night, Kurei sneaks into Recca's room and stabs him through the cheek in an attempt to kill his infant brother. He is caught, of course, and imprisoned without the possibility of parole. Funny enough that, as we see later, this prison is made of wood, making me wonder how long the Hokage clan thought they could keep the young fire wielder locked up. After the murder attempt, word that the conquering Nobunaga and his forces are heading towards the Hokage clan's village and their Modogus reach the leadership of the Hokage. In a bizarre decision that was on par with some of Recca's own boneheaded moves, Oka and the rest of the clan determined that facing the 10,000 strong army head on and without their Modogus was the best course of action, for the fear of Nobunaga attaining the weapons and using them during his conquest. I guess this kind of makes sense, but come on, that's just stupidly arrogant. We're never told how many battle-ready ninja there are in the Hokage, but even if they are 1,000 strong, that's still 10 to 1. Who do these guys think they are? Spartans? They don't even bother to evacuate the village, because after Oka is killed, we see the village burning in piles of dead body, and in the chaos, Kurei is able to escape. As their home is being destroyed, Kagero spirits away with Recca, enemy soldiers in hot pursuit. As a last-ditch effort to save her child, Kagero uses the forbidden technique, space-time drift, sending Recca into the future. But Kurei is there and leaps into the void, trying to kill his brother again. After this, Kagero is stabbed and left for dead, but as we already know, she is now immortal, tasking herself with keeping the Modogus out of dangerous hands, which she apparently fails at. Recca takes all this, pretty bad. He accuses his mom of being a liar and trying to trick him again. Just kind of being a little turd. Tokiya interrupts Recca's outburst to inform the gang that some guys are outside. The 3 doofuses that are part of Kurei's group of top assassins, or so they say. I'll let them introduce themselves because I don't really care to remember their names.
I am Kuchiba Shimaru, Lord of the Beak!
Hanemaru! Ha! Killer Wings!
Oh, yeah. And Sumemaru, the Demon's Claw! All for one,
And one for all!
the Three Stooges!
Ah!
They even have a weird running joke where the fat man refers to them as the Three Stooges instead of the Three Ravens. I guess you could call it a running joke, but they only do it twice, and it's not funny. Anyway, Recca goes Yusuke Urameshi on Fairy's ass. Domon takes the fat man to Suplex City, and the whole gang is about to take down Vash until he takes Kagero hostage. Recca goes beast mode, blasting Broomhead with his flame, and not just any flame, but flames from one of the dragon heads. With the battle over, Recca runs over to his mom, only to find that he can't actually touch her. As it turns out, the person that performs the space-time drift and the person it's used on can never make physical contact. It is implied that her curse of immortality, as well as her inability to touch Recca, could be lifted. In the next episode, the flashbacking finally comes to an end when Recca, Kagero, and the others meet up with Recca's dad, who finally comes clean that he found his son, abandoned as an infant, and adopted him when it was clear there was no family to find. It is at this meeting that Recca announces he will be heading into the mountains during summer break to train. Before he can split, Unagi catches up and decides to join her ninja on his adventure, probably because she knows he'll need her around as his own personal bag of sensu beans. Later, Domon and Fuko are shown getting ready to take part in their own training retreat. Fuko reveals that she has the Modogus that Broomhead and the Fat Man were using, the Kuchibachio, I think that's how you say it, and the Demon Claw. So the two decide to master the new weapons to help them prepare for their next encounter with Kurei. Speaking of the bad guys, we are then shown Mori at a huge cloning facility he owns. As it turns out, he has another method for living forever and making more money. He's shown the president of an unidentified country a cloned body that he has made for him. I'm not really sure if the person's brain will be transplanted into the new body, or maybe it's just some Hokage magic that they'll use. After the president leaves, Mori monologues that the clone body would actually just be a puppet for him to control, and plans to offer his service to the most powerful and wealthiest people in the world. Afterwards, Kurei shows up. Mori isn't happy with how the events at the mansion turned out, but Kurei says he has a plan to get back Unagi and unlock the power of the Hokage clan's secrets. He'll need to relaunch an underground death tournament, a dark tournament if you will. In the Japanese original, it's called the Yorebuto Satsunjin, but I'm just going to call it the death tournament, like in the English dub. Meanwhile, in the mountains, Recca unleashes the 8-headed dragon, picking a fight with it to gain its power. A month or so later, I don't read Japanese, Domon, Fuko, Gonku, and Tokiya meet up with Recca and Unagi, along with a warged wolf. They are informed of the death tournament and told they must participate. Recca then reveals he has mastered 2 of the dragon heads, represented by tattoos on his arm in the shape of their names in kanji. First is Nadare, that turns Recca's flame into a giant fireball. Second is Saiha, whose power creates a fire blade. Activating these powers is kinda cool. It's like hand signs in Naruto, except Recca writes the kanji of the dragon's name. Suddenly, 2 of the guys from Kurei's group appear, Genjiro and Gisho. After cutting promos on each other, Genjiro explains some of the tournament rules. It's team-based, and the winning team obtains the loser's weapons, most of which are Modogus. So a team-based underground death tournament. Why does that sound familiar? Next we see Kogane receive his own invitation to the tournament. Wonder which team he'll be on. Our heroes meet up with Kogoro to discuss the tournament. This scene just kind of sets up each person's reason for fighting. Recca, obviously, to fight Kurei. Domon and Fuko figured that as the Modogu users they are, they have targets on their back anyway, so they might as well face it head on, while Tokiya believes his sister's murderer may participate too. At the arena, the gang reconnects with Gunko, who now has a fox doll companion she brought to life with her Modogu. A cute type creature introduced to lighten up the darker part of the show. Why does that sound familiar? Better question is, why the hell is Gunko there? We keep hearing about how bloody these matches are, so why would the teens let her come? Next, Team Hokage registers for the tournament, but learn that there is one more stipulation. Each team must offer something as tribute. Domon offers his favorite wrestling tee, Fuko offers her boobs, and Gunku offers to bake cookies. Wait a second. Okay, something seems off about this scene. So, I actually decided to rewatch it in the original Japanese dub.
それじゃあ弾ける乙女風花ちゃんのおっぱい触り系でどうかしらパフンパフンよ
おっぱい触り券パフンパフンだって
おお、それは素晴らしい。でもダメです。
それじゃあ私のおっぱい触り券
本当ですか？
ダメだっつーの
大人をからかっちゃダメかんこちゃんって大胆
Unagi decides to offer herself up as a tribute. Since the others were risking their lives, she feels that she should do the same. The others reluctantly agree. As a test to see if they can even participate, the receptionist sends a group of 40 goons after our heroes, all of which are beaten very quickly, earning Team Hokage a spot in the Yura Buto Satsujin, the, the, the death tournament. Alright, and that's where I'll be ending the video today. Many questions were answered, as well as the setup for the final arc of the series. I decided to keep this video shorter than the last because between watching each episode, writing, recording, editing, and on top of non-YouTube commitments, getting these videos out kind of takes me a while. So liking and commenting and subscribing really helps encourage me to keep making them. And of course, any criticism is always welcome. I plan to keep making future videos short, covering maybe each round in its own separate video. But until I rewatch more of the series, I really can't say for sure. But anyway, thanks for watching and see you next time. My heart is burning with fire.